What's happening, Delco? I'm Rich Shane, and welcome to the What's Happening Delco podcast. Today, we're going to talk about the Media Fright Fest, and I'm joined by Karen, Lisa, and Tammy. Ladies, welcome to the podcast.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us. And look, we're going to talk Media Fright Fest, but let's start and talk about how did the Media Fright Fest get started?
Oh, Tammy.
Okay.
Well, the Media Fright Fest is part of the Media Film Festival, which has been happening for a long time. What are we, 16, 17 years now? We showed horror films, and, throughout, interspersed with, straight films. And at some point, it may have been when we started showing in the media theater that we took 90 minutes for all horror.
So that got a great response. People said, we would like to see more of that. And it just, for 16, 17 years, it's just kind of morphed from there, yes?
Yes.
Now, what can people expect this year when they come to the Media Fright Fest?
Oh, well, we have 17 short films. They're international, so they're not only just from the United States, they're from a multitude of countries. And we have 2 blocks of 90 minutes. So that's a lot of films that you can watch in one seating. And they start in the evening, but during the day, we have vendors. And the vendors are all local artisans. They make everything themselves. So it's a full day of Halloween films, vendors, goth, you name it, we have it.
Now, I want to make sure, because you're already talking about the event, talk about the dates that the Media Fright Fest is going on.
So the Media Fright Fest itself is on Saturday, October 8th. At 2:00, the event starts, and anybody can attend and view all the vendors that we will have. And then at 7:00, the films start, and that is a paid ticket. You have to purchase a ticket for that. But the vendors, you can come in and stroll around and check out what all your local vendors are selling that they're making, which is quite amazing, some of the things that they craft.
Now, you can hear this podcast nationally. So if somebody's in Idaho and they say, wow, I want to go to that, what's the location of the event?
It's the Media Community Center, which, Lisa, tell me if I'm right, 301 North Jackson Street in Media, Pennsylvania?
That's it.
Okay.
And if somebody wants to purchase tickets, because you did say, Karen, that they need tickets, how do they go and purchase tickets?
So you could go to Media Fright Fest on Facebook. We have our own page, and we have a link there for the event. Or you can go to macfrightfest.org, and you can also purchase tickets there. And in addition, Lisa, if you want to talk a little bit about the on-demand option, if you can't attend in person, we do have an on-demand option that they can view the films.
Oh, that's tremendous. How do we do that?
So it's a streaming service. It's called Eventive. It's available on the Roku app. It might be on other streaming services too, but it's Eventive, and people anywhere in the world can go there and they can just purchase a block, or they can purchase like an all festival pass, and they can see all the films.
That's awesome. So again, we're reaching people in Idaho, and now they don't have to come here, although media is lovely this time of year, and they should come and check out Delco and all that Delco has to offer. I'm curious, you talked about all these, short films, horror films, and things that are being viewed for the Media Fright Fest. How do you go through the process of choosing the films and what you display for the guests?
Oh, wow.
Oh, so there's a website, it's called Film Freeway, and that's where filmmakers can submit their films to our festival there. And we watch the films start coming in around June, and then we'll go until about December is, I think, when the deadline is. And then we watch all the films and we judge them, and then we have a judgment night, and that's when our committee picks what's going to be in the festival.
Wow, Judgment Night. That even sounds horrific, right?
It is.
Horrific. I don't know.
It can be kind of brutal. You get that one film that you love. You get that one film that you love and nobody else likes, and you have to fight for it.
Wow. Now, given all that and the whole process, can you talk about some of the films, maybe give a little snippet of what people, maybe one of those films that you feel is going to be the standout film or, past judgment night?
Oh, you mean how we decide on the film that's going to go into the festival?
Well, I think that Lisa already said it's a UCFK's match, and you guys all get together, and the last one to come out gets their film of choice. But no, just talk about some of the films that are going to be in the festival this year.
Oh, in the festival this year, I think there's some really cool ones. Without giving away too much, two off the top of my head are not really what you would call supernatural or even a typical horror, but they're like the psychological horror. And I think that's where a lot of people who say they don't like horror actually really do, because they watch thrillers. They watch a lot of psychological type films that fall into a horror genre, but they say they're not horror fans. So we have two off the top of my head I'm thinking of. One's called Sad and one is called Cutter. That I think could kind of fall into those categories. They're two.
Tammy, you look like you're ready to share something.
Well, I do. I have the list in front of me. And Karen, since you mentioned Cutter, we ask our filmmakers to send us a video greeting to say, the name of the film, their name, where it was filmed, because they're from different countries or different states, and maybe something about the film, something interesting that happened when they filmed it. So we received one from Lindsay Young. She was one of the writers and directors of Cutter. And in her video greeting, she mentioned that the film does have some graphic scenes, so some blood, and hence the name Cutter. One of their producers cannot watch that scene once the film was finished, even though she was there. I guess it was like with the makeup artist. She was there, saw the makeup being done, watched it be filmed. Wow. And now she can't watch the film.
Wow.
That's like a Janet Leigh story. I think her name's Janet Leigh in Psycho.
Right.
Yeah.
And even after that whole scene, she did it. I don't think she could ever watch it. I don't know if she, that was, at least that's the rumors I hear. So, wow. I mean, what happens is you're there, you see the cinematography being done, but then when you get back and look at the dailies or whatever you're doing from on the screen, you're like, I can't even watch that. Wow. Right.
That's a good sign.
One of the films that screened at the film festival in April, it was actually the horror winner for April. It's called No Filter. And as Karen was saying about people, they say, oh, I don't like horror. They only think that it's one specific thing, like it might just be a slasher. It's actually a commentary on social media.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So
I'm intrigued. I mean, the more
everything.
you talk about this, the more you give a little detail, the more excited I become for October 8th.
Oh, that's great.
And the more I want to see a lot of these things. And now I'm going to really pay attention to Cutter for that one scene and find out really what was going on that the producer, couldn't really be there.
Yes.
Now, the Mac Center, that's also something where you could do, this isn't just one night and then it's done. You've got other things going on there.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, the week before October 8th Fright Fest on September 30th, we have an event, a night with Phantom Detectives, and they are a Southeastern-based ghost hunter agency, organization, I'm not sure. So that's kind of leading up to Fright Fest, and then we're going to have probably a few other events going on, but throughout the year, we're looking for other people that want to present or do a lecture or workshop on anything that's horror related. If you're an author, if you have a feature film, because we don't do feature films, we only do shorts. So if you have a feature film and you want to have a Delco premiere, we're the place, contact us and we can set something up.
Sounds like the perfect place for M. Night Shyamalan to stop by. And
we would love that.
We wish.
So look at all you guys, you lit up. M. Night Shyamalan, yay! That'd be fun. I'm curious. You all seem to be very into horror. And like you said, it's not the slasher films or psychological horror. There's different, I guess, genre of horror. Talk about your interest in horror and how you got started in horror.
Wow. Ever since I was a little kid, I mean, my parents were moviegoers. So my first movies at the theater were Planet of the Apes and Live and Let Die at a drive-in. So ever since I was a kid, I've always loved horror. I love that feeling of being scared while the film's going on, not in real life, but while that's on the screen, that's where it is. And it's just, I don't know, I've always just been interested in, I guess, darker things. I've always read King and Dean Koontz and just anything that is kind of like unexplainable or get your adrenaline going. I've always kind of been into that.
Cool. Who wants to go next?
Similar to Lisa, I've just always been into the darker side of life. And I didn't realize how far back it went. Like I figured I was there forever, but I didn't really know until I started cleaning out my basement many years ago. And I came across books, and in the book had my name, and it had first grade and second grade. And they were supernatural books. They were like kids' books, but about ghosts and witches. And apparently my parents thought it was totally fine, and they purchased it because they're like, hey, she's reading. So this is great. So it stems all the way back.
How about for you, Tammy?
Yeah. Books is where I got my interest in horror as well. I would say the short story Carmilla by Sheridan Le Fanu was maybe the first like horror genre story that I read, and just kind of my interest in vampires and the supernatural. Yeah.
Well, that's very cool.
That.
And like I said, I mean, for me, I remember when my parents, we used to go to, family friends' houses, and, we got to stay up late at that point, and Psycho was always on. And that was my first introduction into horror. And the funny thing I remember that is I don't ever remember as a kid seeing the very beginning. I don't ever remember seeing much of the end. I always just got that middle part where they arrive at the hotel, and then all the stuff goes on in between. And it was only till I was older that I said, wow, this is how it starts and this is how it ends. And now I can't sleep forever.
One of the other things too is Halloween has always been my favorite holiday. I always remember as a kid going trick-or-treating. You didn't go out until, it was dark. It was something we always did as family. We went, once we were done in the neighborhood, we went to other people's houses. And I think that all, it's all good memories. Mm-hmm. So I think that kind of goes along with it. You have these good memories of these spooky things. As a kid, you don't really realize the horror of it. Mm-hmm. But as you get older, it, it just goes back to, wow, that was a good time. I know that sounds really awful.
No, but it was appealing to you, and it was fun, right? Yeah,
exactly.
All right, here's where we're going to go. You ready?
Yes.
Delco questions.
Uh-oh.
All right, and this is gonna be cool because I got 3 different answers from 3 different people, perhaps. But you're going out to that horror movie, and before you go, you want a cheesesteak. Where are you going?
Don's Deli for me.
2 J's in Chester for me.
Waltz in Clifton Heights.
Okay, now you've already seen that horror movie, and you're doing a double feature, but you want pizza this time. Where are you heading?
Pat Bones.
Italianos in Marcus Hook.
Imperial Pizza in Sea Cane.
See, 3 people, 3 different answers. I love it. Mm-hmm. Now, let's see the way this question goes. You need to stock up. Let's say you need the candy, you need the Reese's, whatever you like to watch a horror movie with. Which convenience store are you stopping at? Wawa or Royal Farms?
Wawa.
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 Hands down, Wawa.
The other one? I don't even know.
Is there another one?
Although I do love a Swiss Farms drive-through.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
But I don't think they have candy like that.
All right, so you may be stopping there on your way to Wawa. Who knows?
We might need a Rita's too. And I need some pretzels also,
Karen, you just can't hijack the podcast like that. All right. Besides, maybe a horror movie, if you want to have somebody get the flavor of Delco and they're coming in for the day, or you want to share that experience, what would you do, or where would you take somebody to have that Delco experience?
Delco Experience. You mean Wawa, isn't it?
Okay, you're taking them to Wawa all day.
We're not eating on the trash can at Wawa to start off, and then we're going to go to the SEPTA train station.
The new SEPTA train station at Wawa?
That's right.
Yeah, there's a new one.
Right.
So we can eat on the trash can there, and then we can take the SEPTA to the media station, and then we can go down State Street and we can eat and we can check out all the stores and we can check out the art at the Mac Center and have a nice full day.
I love the way you wrap that up together. And I'm sure, this is going to be a horror-filled event as you do that. So I really love the way you did that, Lisa. I have a question for you. You're putting all this together. What keeps you motivated? Because you're volunteering for this, right? What keeps you motivated to move forward?
Passion for horror. I mean, I just love it. I know I'm speaking for Tammy and Lisa, but we just all really love it. We get along really well together. We work great together as a team. It's just fun. And I know there's a lot of people out there that love it just as much as we do. We're happy to be able to have a venue to share it.
We have a good committee. We have a good group of people, and there's a need for it. There's an audience for it in this area. And there aren't a lot of film festivals around to begin with. So if people want to see, they don't want to watch the same movies over and over again. And with the films being 30 minutes or less, you can see a lot of different things. And, that's a doorway into other movies, other artists. And there's just really a really great audience in this area for it. And I'm happy to be able to help people see these films. It's exciting.
How about for you, Tammy? What, doing what you do, what keeps you motivated? What do you, kind of get out of all of this?
I love connecting with the filmmakers. And through the years with not just Fright Fest, but also with the main festival itself, I've just met, so many great filmmakers and, have stayed connected through the years. And, we've seen a few of their films. And like I said, we get films from all over the world. I think that's what it is for me, besides getting to hang out, with these two ladies.
Awesome.
It's exciting too. Tammy brought up about the regular festival too, but it's exciting when you see a filmmaker who has a film and goes on to either make a feature film or win awards for it. We've had a couple films in the regular festival that have won like the student Oscars. They've been nominated for those or have won those. So that's exciting to see where how the filmmakers careers proceed and how they succeed.
How many people are you expecting to attend the Fright Fest, the media?
Thousands.
How many? And I don't mean to sound contrite or sarcastic, but how many people really attend?
I think the max we can have is maybe 100 in there. Okay. I'm not really sure. So limited space.
All right. So that's something important. So if this is something that interests you, tickets are on sale now. Mm-hmm. Don't wait. Don't delay, because you're going to end up watching this on a pay-per-view kind of a thing versus being there in person. I'm curious. Do people dress up for this?
No, unfortunately, we would love that, but not too many really dress up. They might just wear like regular horror T-shirts and stuff, but not full dress up.
Okay, so we're throwing this out there. What's happening, Delco? We're going to give an award for the best dressed or the most. We'll come up with categories now. This could be.
I would love that.
Who knows? This could take off.
That would be great.
The scariest one wearing some sort of Royal Farms uniform wins. No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding. No, that might be fun. Who knows? This could get legs, and we might start seeing people dress up like they do for Rocky Horror. So that'd be fun.
Oh, that would be great. Would love
that. During the intermission, do we do the time warp? I don't know.
I'm not sure if we're having a DJ or a playlist, but yeah, I like that idea.
I need to check out Guinness Book. Committee. I need to check out Guinness Book of World Records to see what the biggest, time warp is, and maybe that's in conjunction with the dressing up. Who knows?
I love it.
That would be fun.
All right, so Tammy, Karen, and Lisa, Media Fright Fest is October 8th. Talk about a few more of the details and how they can connect and buy tickets, and then we'll say goodbye.
MacFrightFest.org or Media Fright Fest. Yes, we have shirts for sale. We will have vendors there. We're looking for donations for gift cards for raffles, if anybody's interested in doing that. And we're always looking for volunteers for our events. So if anybody's interested in volunteering, they can also reach out to our email address, which is FrightFest, DIR, altogether, at mediafilmfestival.org.
This has been such a treat. Thank you so much for sharing your time with us and introducing us to Fright Fest. I'm excited. I can't wait. Before you know it, October 8th will be here. You said something that there's going to be something on September 30th, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right.
Yes. So, Phantom Detectives are going to talk about all kinds of ghost experiences that they've had.
Great. Another wonderful event for Delco. We can't wait to see everybody there and looking forward to a tremendous event.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, this was a lot of fun.
Yeah.